How you going, YouTube? After getting everything balanced out correctly, I believe, most of it anyway, I've had to set my sort of bandwidth control and things like that a little bit more. 58. Let's see. I basically had to set my bandwidth control, which I don't know, because I noticed with this modem specifically, well, I mean, even with some of my other modems, I noticed particularly when I wasn't limiting the upload bandwidth, I'd pretty much tank my connection and kill it. I don't know, I mean, at the moment they could be still working on the line, I don't know, but I haven't actually, my ISP hasn't actually rung me to tell me anything about that. But what I've done is I've turned the upload down a bit, go for maximum download, which is pretty much the maximum speed I can get out of the modem. Then I've just adjusted a bit, and I've just put a little rule in there, basically that every network on the, basically everything on the network has this particular thing on this particular bandwidth upload limit. So yeah, things sort of seem to be performing okay. It's not too bad. Otherwise, if I actually put it into full upload mode, it just fucking dies in the ass. At the moment, I'm not doing too bad. I'm doing pretty well with upload. I've got this, so far I've got this video uploaded. I mean, to be honest, I'll probably see if I can compress my videos a little more, maybe work towards doing that type of stuff. And to be honest, I haven't felt productive lately just because of some of the stuff I've been doing. Well, some of the reason I haven't been feeling productive is because I haven't been able to upload videos as much. Aside from that, I've got that all fixed up. I was interested in some of the stuff that's been coming along. I've been looking at the fact that the new Batman game pretty much tanked it when it came to running on any modern hardware, or like reasonably modern hardware, like some 7070s, 780s, or 970s, or the newest cards and everything else. So pretty much tanked it. Does not fucking work at all. I also had a bit of a problem with a drive, because I had actually got a drive on eBay, little chip drive, little chip USB, not USB, little chip drive, basically like an SSD, to go into a laptop, but unfortunately it does not work, so I have to send it back to the guy that I got it off of. It was secondhand, but I mean it still has some type of warranty, so I've basically gone back to him and said, well, okay, I need to return this because I need to either get a new one or a refund. Either way. So yeah, now video popularity is not too bad at the moment. I've been doing some tests, gaming tests, well, a combination of stuff. I've been running some part tests. I've been doing a lot of testing stuff basically on the workbench, and I'll probably do some more gaming videos as well. I haven't been overly busy the last few weeks. I've just been, taking my time with most things, doing what I need to do basically. So, unfortunately, this is the drive that I was actually talking about that I'm having the issue with. It's basically a 64GB SSD, which is a chip drive, basically. But it just does not work. I tried, basically the laptop won't post. If I put the original drive back in there that I had in the laptop originally, which is only like 16GB, it works fine. It boots fine. So, I'm assuming that there's actually something wrong with that drive. Because that's any explanation I can put it down to is that the SanDisk itself the drive itself isn't working, because basically the laptop won't post at all. And I have seen people put the same type of drives into this laptop, so I don't think there's a problem with the laptop, to be honest. What else? Let's see. So basically I've adjusted that pretty much for the moment. Upload's not going too bad. It seems to be uploading reasonably. I think I had to turn it down a bit because I was basically having a problem. Well, I had a problem where my internet just copped out and completely died, which I think that was just related to some issues that I was having with my internet in general. I mean, my internet, sometimes it can be great and some days it just acts like a piece of shit. Saying that, I am a little annoyed. I am a little annoyed with like, okay, my connection, I've pretty much been told that it can't get this certain parameter of download speed, and to be honest, the download speed has been much higher in the past, so I don't know what the hell's going on there. Anyway, I'm sort of stuck between a rock and a hard place, because basically, I think I am at about the 4 or 3 kilometre mark for the exchange, so basically where I am, it's just not good where I am, basically with the line length. So yeah, that's basically the reason my connection is in and out a lot of the times, and basically because I have issues, or that's the reason that I have a tendency to have issues with things. So, you know, it's unfortunate. It's just where I live, it's just the area I'm in, and it's just the length of the line, so it's a combination of that really combined. So, what else have I been doing? I've been playing, well, I haven't been playing any games lately. I've been working on a couple of PCs. I recently had a PC that had a lot of viruses, about 6,554 viruses or something like that. So yeah, it was a lot. There's a lot of viruses there. Then I had about 2,092 that malware bytes I had to clear out as well. Had a shitload of stuff to clear out of it, basically. Then I had another client's computer which was just basically fixing it up because it was having a problem booting and everything else and things of that nature. So I fixed it up, got it booted, did a bit of a scan, and I found a couple of malwares on there and cleared those out, which is okay. So at this point, I'm just waiting to get some more clients. I've also got, at this point, also I have up for sale at the moment, I have up for sale a desktop computer, which is basically Core 2 Duo, you know, nice machine, basically custom reconditioned build basically. So functioning very well, works very nice. So I'm pretty happy with the end result of it. It's been functioning well, and I haven't had any major issues. I'm also going to be selling a laptop at some point. I'm also selling a smaller desktop, which is like basically just an $80 single core sort of computer, just basic, nothing too fancy, but I mean it's good for, you know, just basic stuff. So what else? Had to fix up my nephew's computer, which was having some temperature problems, but I fixed those up. Basically, it was a fan being around the wrong way, from what I could tell. Fixed that up. His water cooling's now working properly. He's now got a proper power supply in his computer and everything else of that nature. So he's pretty much got, yeah, new power supply, which his old power supply just didn't, it wasn't cutting in the sense of what voltage and wattage and things like that he had in his computer. The one he had in there was a 850 watt, but it was a very cheap, it was a relatively cheap Chinese one, which was still a gaming power supply, but it wasn't 80 plus bronze or anything like that, so it wasn't anything fancy. So the one that I got, which is a Corsair Vayu Select one, I believe, which was quite a nice power supply. I didn't actually get that, but I pulled it out of the main out of my main workbench tower, because it was basically the replacement power supply for an old power supply I got rid of originally, and I just thought, fuck it, I'll put it into Jacob's computer because it just makes more sense to put it in there because it's just a better rated power supply. I put his older power supply, which his power supply doesn't draw as much current because it's an older architecture, because the other stuff was a lot newer. All the AMD stuff that he's got in his computer is a lot newer architecture, so that obviously pulls more power. So I put in there, it's more reliability in the sense of power, so got that in there, fixed that up. He's all good now, he's happy, he's got his power supply working, everything seems to be functioning pretty well. Installed Windows 8 on there as well, got him fixed him up with a Windows 8 code and everything else. Installed Windows 8 from Windows 10 basically, because I think he had Windows 7 on there, so I will install Windows 8, and then I'm probably going to install Windows 10 as well when it comes out. But I got him Windows 8 basically, got my dad Windows 8. I probably will end up getting maybe Windows 8 for the workbench computer, I don't know. It's sort of a toss-up between it. I may not. I mean, I'm thinking I probably will, because, to be honest, it just seems like a wise investment. So I'll probably end up getting Windows 8 because I can get the codes online relatively cheap. Just the codes themselves, no actual medium. I've got the medium myself. I've got the CDs and everything else to install it with. But I've got the codes, and I can download those. I can get those easily, and they're legitimate codes and everything else. They all work, so yeah, they're all fine. Everything else has been functioning pretty well. I've been doing reasonably well with most things. Internet has been acting up here and there. I've had little issues with different things for my internet, and then sometimes it works great. Some days it works absolutely shithouse. Today it wasn't too bad. It seemed okay, and I was like sitting there on a whole call probably about a 24-hour, well, probably not 24 hours, probably like 8, probably more than that, like heaps of hours anyway. I was on my girlfriend, I was browsing the web, and I was also uploading a video at the same time. So I found balancing my my download basically made things a lot more stable, in the sense of not just doesn't kill the download completely and doesn't fuck the download completely. At this point in time, I don't know, I might try and see if I can do some online gaming, maybe at some point, maybe some streaming, but I don't know. The problem with my connection is not really suited for streaming, mainly because of the upload bandwidth being a bit of an issue sometimes, particularly when I'm doing certain things. I mean, I can't necessarily upload at the same time that I can't necessarily upload to the net at the same time I'm streaming. So I mean, I wish I could do multiple things like that at once, and that'd be great. And I've got the equipment to do it. I mean, my computers are capable of doing that, and the computers I've got in the house are capable of doing that. The problem that I have is actually trying to get it to work properly most of the time, or most of the issue is that in a percentage of cases that I've had. So yeah, it's rather frustrating that way. Saying that, the streaming's not too bad. My streaming video seems to be running pretty well. The YouTube videos I seem to be working pretty well. I haven't tried Netflix, but I assume Netflix is going to be okay. I will mention that I have been a bit pissed off with my ISP, because they have technically sort of... There's a couple of things, there's a couple of fibs, a couple of lies they've been spreading. I mean, not spreading, but they've sort of put them across. I mean, okay. Basically, they were having problems with their network, and their network was having issues. As well as their network having issues, my line was probably having issues as well. It's probably combined of the two, to be honest. And I don't know what's happened since. They haven't called me since then, because I was supposed to get Telstra to look at my line to see if there was any issues with the line. And I haven't heard back from them. They haven't called me. I've had no calls. I've had nothing come back to me. And I'm like, well, okay. You know, it would have been nice if you actually gave me a call to update me on the situation, just so I know what the hell's going on. But no, I haven't had any calls. I haven't had anything said to me. Yeah, basically I've been stuck in the... Yeah, I don't know. Look, personal experience. I mean, I don't know whether it's necessarily down to IONET, but IONET service has not been as great. In the past, it probably has been good for some people, but I'm finding a lot of the reviews that I'm getting online, and a lot of the stuff I'm getting online, is very negative reviews towards the company as a general rule, and just the fact that they seem to be greedy in certain. Well, I'm not saying they're specifically greedy. I'm probably most likely the CEOs being the issues, they're being the greedy ones about things. So at the end of it, the truth is that if I could change ISPs and I could move to it, well, I'd probably have to move somewhere else, to be honest, because that's just where I am and the line situation I'm in, and, you know, basically my line's a piece of shit. The distance that I'm at from the exchange is not the best. I'm pretty lucky to be getting the speed I can at given times when I do get it, and, you know, most of the time I get a consistent speed. Most of the time I get a consistent or the same speed most of the time. Then the other half of it I don't get anything. I get shit all, and I basically get a really crappy speed. But see, this is the point that I'm trying to make. Shit happens. It's something that I can't necessarily avoid. Up until the point that they put the NBN into this area, and they spread the NBN out a little bit more, and I actually get some type of, you know, connection that actually, you know, is a nice speed. I mean, I know for a fact there's like rural parts of Australia which have got better connections than I, which, I mean, it does piss me off that Canberra doesn't get a priority. I mean, Canberra is a pretty big city. I consider it a pretty big city, and it has a lot of people, you know, a lot of people in it. And I understand why you wouldn't want to put priority on getting internet properly done in it. But yeah, whatever. That's beside the point. For now, I'm just going to leave it at, I'm probably completely annoyed. There's also the fact that most people didn't realise that Netflix has actually been killing has been killing the internet service in Australia. It's caused an overload in the exchanges. It's caused an overload in a lot of areas. I know for a fact that there was a lot of faults that the IONET status page had listed a while. There's probably about 10. And for my area in particular, not just my area, but the whole of Canberra as a general thing. And the problem with that is because of all that crap, basically I think that's the reason why things were so slow and just so crap for the past few months. or it's just degraded, or it has degraded into shit, basically. But in my mind, I still feel they should be accountable. I still feel IronNet should be accountable for the fact that they let their service degrade as badly as it did, and they let their service fall into the ground like it did originally. And I mean, at the end of it, that's what it came down to. The service was just abysmal. I mean, in the sense of certain times of day, you couldn't get a speed at maximum speed that you wanted. Now, speed has increased. They've seemed to have fixed some of the problems, from what I can see. So, you know, kudos for that fact. But I mean, the truth of the situation is it shouldn't have been an issue in the first place. They should have patched it in, and they should have fixed it to begin with. And I mean, me, you know, running my little hobby business I do, if I did crappy work for my customers, or I gave my customers a crappy quality product, nobody would buy from me, to be honest. So I mean, I'm sort of just, you know, I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck? I mean, seriously, what the hell is going on with these people? I mean, it just, as I said, just annoying more than anything else. But look, I mean, for the moment, I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to say that, you know, shit happens. It's an unfortunate fact of life, but you can't help it when things do happen like that. And unfortunately, I mean, it's still the state of the internet in our entire country as a rule. The government hasn't helped the situation, particularly because the whole internet side of things has just been screwed, in a sense of what we can get, what we're able to access, things like that. So, you know, the truth of the situation is that it's not a perfect system. I wish it was. But, you know, fuck. At the end of it, I just go, fuck it. Well, you know, that's life. That's life, unfortunately. But, I mean, at the other side of the spectrum too, I'm trying to work towards a better goal. I'm trying to work towards better stuff anyway. I did have some videos originally I was going to put up, but then I just decided not to, because I'm trying to get all these other ones uploaded at the moment. Once I get those uploaded and I get a balance between my upload and between my download, basically, I'll be fine. I'm annoyed. I have been annoyed the last few weeks that I haven't been able to be as productive as I normally am, and, you know, putting up videos on a regular basis, or be able to put the videos up as much as I want, as fast as I possibly can. I do know for a fact, I think just making my videos a bit smaller would probably help. I mean, some of my videos are relatively big. I mean, it's also the file and the quality size, but I think there's a few compression programs and algorithms that I can run some of my videos through, which will probably help the situation and make, you know, things a little bit smaller and easier to handle when you're uploading them. So at this point in time, as I said, this was the client that I had before. As you can see, there's a lot of virus infections on there. So yeah, as I said, I don't know. Then it was a bit quiet with business, in the business sense. You know, not a lot of people wanting repairs, or just quiet in that sense of, you know, people needing repairs at certain times. Then, you know, somebody calling me and not calling me back and things like that. I mean, at the end of it, I mean, sometimes it can be quiet, sometimes, you know, I mean, I do get stuck into my own projects, so I get stuck into my own sort of little projects I want to sell, or whether I want to sell a product or whatever like that. So I mean, sometimes I'm not necessarily always able to answer the phone, or, you know, get back to people straight away. And I have eventually got back to people at some point, but I mean, you know, it's not a perfect system. Well, I don't know, as I said, me personally, I feel, you know, sometimes when it comes to getting back to clients or getting back straight away, yeah, sometimes I'm a bit laxy-daisy on that, but not necessarily. Some reason, I've had my own reasons. I mean, I do go through a lot of depression and anxiety problems, which can lead me to work at a slower pace in some cases. So in some cases, it can be just the fact that I don't get back to somebody because I'm not feeling particularly crash hot, which is not easy, especially for somebody with a lot of my psychological conditions, OCD and such, and things of that nature. You know, sometimes it adds on top of the pile anyway, for me anyway. So at the end of it, then sometimes I'm happy to get straight back to people. But at the other end of it too, if I'm stressed and I'm annoyed, I'm less likely to feel productive. Or if I'm annoyed and just stressed because I can't get things to go exactly the way I want them to, at the end of it, it does piss me off. It does annoy me, really, to be honest, because I'd rather have things working with me, because at the end of it, it just makes more sense. Because I mean, to be honest, I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing. I'm capable of doing the things I need to do. The problem is that I do rely on other people. Not other people, but other pieces of equipment and other things in my life, like for example my internet and things like that, to get the messages across and get things across. Now this is the problem. I'm relying on that, but I'm relying on shitty stuff because unfortunately I can't get the connection I've got. You know, I mean, for the area I'm in, and the fact is I can't move because I can't afford to move at this point in time. It's just not feasible because I am on a budget with a lot of things, and you know, yeah, maybe in the future if I can afford to move, or if, you know, if it's possible to move into a, you know, I mean, I rent and everything else as well, so, you know, it's not the easiest thing either. So, look, at the end of it, I try my hardest. I try my best. But sometimes, thanks to unforeseen circumstances, I either won't be able to get something straight away, or I won't be able to get it, you know, fixed up as quick as I want it to do. So, you know, at the end of it, fuck it. I do what suits me best at the end. I do, well, simply put, yeah, I do what suits me best at the end. Sometimes I have to look after myself. I have to look after my own interests, whether it be my family or my girlfriend, or otherwise things in my life that I feel are important and a priority to me. So, yeah. Alright, so I'm going to leave it there anyway. Thank you very much, YouTube. Hope you enjoyed my videos. As per usual, like, comment, and subscribe. If you like to comment, and subscribe, could you also leave... you can also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, let's see, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and of course Twitch TV, which I don't know. Twitch TV I'm probably going to get back into, to be honest, so I will try and get Twitch TV up and running a little more. See how we go. Alright, thank you very much, and catch you, YouTube. Bye.